Hi, welcome back to a new episode of Hallmark Heartbeats, a podcast all about Hallmark movies. I'm Camille.
I'm Brittany.
And thank you for listening to us. This week we are reviewing the newest movie that came out. It's the first in the Spring Fling series called Chasing Waterfalls, starring Cindy Busby and Christopher Russell. This was their second movie together. The first one that they did for Hallmark was called Love in the Forecast. It was released in 2019. Then Cindy has also done several other movies. She did Unleashing Mr. Darcy series. There were 3 of them in that one. And Godwin Christmas. Christopher Russell did one other movie called Love Unleashed. Some of the co-stars in this movie is Cassidy Rose Nugent, who plays Kyra. That would be Mark North's daughter. Amy Atwater, who is played by Cindy Busby, is a photojournalist for Explorer Global magazine, and she's on assignment in search for 4 elusive waterfalls. And Mark North, played by Christopher Russell, is her guide. This is her first assignment. She was a hobby photographer. She was a hobby photographer. Is that the right thing to say, photographer? How a hobbyist or a hobby photographer?
Yeah, I would say she enjoyed it and she'd been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. And so, but when the magazine's original photographer, who had that assignment, broke her leg, Amy convinced her boss to send her in place. But yeah. So anyway, how did you like the movie?
I liked it. I thought it was really cute. I had some issues in the beginning when she was walking around the city and the outfit she was walking around in. Not the outfit. Like, I'm not saying that. It's just those shoes to walk around a city to take photos. I mean, she was on her way to work, but you walk to work in those things, like, change your shoes at work. All I could think, well, as she was walking around taking photos was, man, no, don't do that. You can't, that can't feel good. But yeah, I mean, I guess that plays into who she is, and who we find out she is she's not outdoorsy at all. It's not.
No.
And that kind of plays into a meet cute with her and Mark when she's at the first waterfall, when she gets to her assignment and he sees that she has a tag on her outdoorsy clothes that she has bought. Her plaid shirt's got a tag.
Yeah, I have to say that talk about the walking around the city. Isn't there some kind of, I don't know, the thing that got to me was when she took the picture of the guy. She took a picture of the guy first before asking him. And then when he looked up, that's when she asked him. And I'm sitting there going like, isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Like you should ask before you just go, you know what I mean?
I mean, etiquette wise, you should probably ask, but legally, as long as you're not using them to sell them, I think it depends on the state you're in, but I don't think legally you have to ask if they're in a public place, unless you're going to broadcast it somewhere and use it. But if you're just taking pictures around, I think you're allowed to do that, because tourists are in places for a reason. You can't just not take pictures.
Oh yeah, obviously, but I mean, but this one was an actual focus on the guy, not like, picture of the beach and you just happen to be standing there. You know what I mean?
I think it's because she got caught taking the picture. Yeah. But yeah, it was a little inconsiderate, but yeah.
I wouldn't like it if someone was just taking a picture of me and I'm sitting there going, hi, what are you doing? Why don't you ask me first?
Yeah,
absolutely. Quite an invasion of privacy. So
I don't really like my picture taken, so I would have been like, excuse you, please mosey on by without taking my picture.
Yeah, that was just weird. But before we continue, I forgot to say that next week we're gonna be doing a twofer. We're going to be interviewing co-star from this movie, Rhonda Dent. We're going to be interviewing her this week. So she plays Camilla, Amy's boss, but also another behind the scenes thing is that she's a photographer as well, like Amy is in the movie. And a lot of her photographs are featured in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Like in the office scene or whatever, with all the coworkers talking, the pictures in the background of that scene is all hers and stuff.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking to her about her photography adventures, as well as filming this movie and, what her experience was like with this movie. So listen to it. It should be released Sunday. Amy goes on to assignment to find the 4 elusive waterfalls, ones that like nobody's heard of, pictures that nobody's, waterfalls that hardly have any pictures in it. And that's when she goes and finds Mark, who's a guide. She went to see like the easy waterfall first, the one that
the easy waterfall that she got lost finding.
No, she didn't get lost. Wait, no, she did.
Yes, she did. Remember, she walked up the hill, and a lady was like, "You got to go back like 3 miles, and you can't miss it." She'd already missed it. I don't know how.
Oh my god, that girl! I can relate.
She's definitely directionally challenged.
I can relate.
I get lost too. Not generally when I have directions, but
usually. But the thing about it is, I know the difference between right and left.
Yeah, absolutely. Which seems she did not, because I don't know how many more times he could have said, "Go to sign 3 and turn left," and she still was like, "Right, I'm going right here, and this is the correct way." She was so confident in her bad decisions. She was, I've never seen someone so blatantly wrong and so confident about it.
I'm like, how can you? The directions to go back to the cabin was so easy. It wasn't even
2 directions. It was walk down this road. You'll see a sign that says number 3. At that sign, turn left, and you're at the lodge. There's nothing to those directions. Literally nothing. There's nothing. It's not like, hey, go to the number 3, turn left. You'll see a crooked tree. Take a U-turn, go up a hill, and then you're going to take another right there, and then 3 more lefts, and then you should see a sign that says go down, but don't go down, go up, and you'll be at the lodge. That would make sense where she gets freaking lost, but not this.
Poor girl. So anyway, but yeah, that's where she meets Mark, is at the easy waterfall. That's where she meets Mark and his daughter as well, Kyra. And Kyra is like an 11-year-old who, has her own little storyline with this movie, where she has a cute little crush on a boy.
Her first crush, yeah.
So, oh God. But anyway, so Mark kind of like, it's so funny because Amy, asked Mark about Redwood Waterfalls, which is the, one that she's there for, really, because that's the one that is mystical and magical, and nobody has ever taken a picture of it. Nobody knows that it exists, really. It's like, it doesn't exist. There's no such a waterfall.
The unicorn.
Yeah, it was like he's a tour guide, and he was booked for all of the tours, and Amy was asking him, well, I want a tour to Redwood Falls. He goes, it's the unicorn tour. But yeah, so anyway, Cindy is really unprepared for her time at the waterfalls. She doesn't have the right shoes. She doesn't have the right clothes.
She seems to make that mistake more than once in this movie with the shoes.
Yeah. So, Mike was the one who kind of like had to tell her to get the right boots and stuff. But some of the waterfalls that she did get to that were mentioned are Suzette, Little Betsy, obviously Redwood, Fatkin, and Angel. We're gonna skip around with the storyline because it's just a lot. Some of the stuff that she was able to do to go find the waterfalls was again propelling off the fake rock face, which seems so cool. I've never done it. I
would love to do it.
I would be scared too.
Yeah, I mean, scary, but I think it'd be really fun. I'd love to do it. I plan on doing it at some point.
Yeah, and stuff, but and also they were panning for gold, all these cute little things, but so Mark is like a single dad again to Kyra, and Kyra has sort of got her little boy crush and boy problems, so her dad kind of like doesn't know what to do. So Amy has stepped in as sort of being a mentor and stuff, and it's kind of cute.
I like this storyline because of the way that dad handles this. I feel like too often we see these movies where the dad treats their daughters as if they're property and like, oh, how dare you even think to dance with my daughter, and oh, you're my sweet princess and you can't have feelings for a boy. And he was just like, yeah, it's natural, right? It's not too soon. Is it too soon? And then he just kind of let it happen. She's dancing with the boy and he was like, yeah, I mean, if she wants to be interested in a boy, that came right to me, is how too often we see these dads who are just way too protective of their daughters. And like, yes, it's important to protect your children, but it's almost like that. I hope this doesn't get me in trouble for saying this, but it's almost a form of that toxic masculinity there, where it's just like, that's my daughter. And I really enjoyed that he did not have that issue whatsoever. He was just like, whatever, she's a girl, she can do what she wants, it's her choice. Like I actually really respected that a lot, that they didn't add in that overbearing father aspect to it. I really like that.
Do fathers actually our fathers really like that? Because my dad was one of those dads who's like, you're not dating till you're 30. You know what I mean? Like, guys are off limits for you till like you are graduate from college and got your PhD.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the thing, where dads are just too overprotective, where they're like, no, you're not allowed to date at all. Yeah, my dad was like that. Absolutely.
So that to me was shocking, that those are the type of, they're out there. Those kind of dads are out there. Because I'm like, how come my dad didn't do that? But I do like I love the relationship that he has with his daughter. I think it's cute.
Absolutely.
And his daughter is so cute. Oh,
yeah, God. I liked her. She was cute. And I don't generally like kids. I know that sounds kind of mean because I have one. But I'm not a big fan of child actors. Good for them. Good for them. But often I have, you know what? Actually, we've had kids in our last one we did for this, but in another one we recently did, we had kids in it too. Yeah. That our bonus episode. Yeah. And those kids were cute too.
Yeah.
Hey, while we're talking about October Kiss real quick, was that Abigail played Tara?
Yes.
I was like, isn't that her?
Yes, okay. That is okay. That is Miranda Frigon.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
She played Abigail in October Kiss. In this movie, she played I don't remember her character. What was her character's name?
Tara, right?
Yeah, Tara, who is sort of Mark's ex, but not really, since they did. I mean, like, yeah, they only dated like for a short time or whatever, so it
They
was
just
not.
went on a couple dates.
Yeah.
And it seems she still had feelings for him, but it wasn't a major storyline. It wasn't like a huge. They seemed to be very friendly, and she seemed like she still liked him, but she wasn't crazy about it or anything. She wasn't going out of her way to win him back. She just still continued to be friends with him, I'm sure, hoping something might spring up from it. But the second she noticed he was interested in Amy, she just backed off completely. She was friendly to Amy the whole time as well. So
yeah, there was like no underlying jealousy or whatever. So which is cool. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Amy did though. Amy was looking into that situation more than anybody else was. She was like, "Oh,"
but I think that's just because she didn't want to cross a line. She didn't want to step in between a relationship. So I think she was just like checking to make sure there was nothing she was trying to get in the middle of.
Yeah.
Speaking of relationships, how did you feel about chemistry here? I wasn't huge on chemistry love-wise. I thought that they were great friends. Yeah. And they had amazing chemistry as people who bounced off each other and got along. But love-wise, I really had an issue here with.
I didn't see love. Like it was. But she was on the phone and she was like, "I think I'm falling for this guy."
Yes.
Like, where did I miss? I didn't see any like signs of love really from them. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I wrote it down in my notes too. It said it's a little quick for love, right? It was out of nowhere, just out of nowhere. Suddenly she's like, "Oh, I'm madly in love with him." And I'm like, "You're what?" Like, I haven't seen any real flirtation even between them. It was really just
him. I mean, up to that point, all they did was just walk.
and he was telling dad jokes and things. And for me, it's like, I have male friends who I act the exact same way with, and there is nothing romantic there, and we're just really good friends.
Yeah.
So I had a hard time with the romance in this, even at the very end, even when they finally, get together. I was still like, nah.
Yeah.
This is not a forever thing. This can't be.
But you and I are both also from very touristy
absolutely
places. Yeah. And so like I think that we both can relate to Mark in that protective over local spots kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Hawaii and I've been living here for almost 20 years. And I'm pretty sure I still don't know every local spot.
I live about 20 minutes from Tahoe, and I could tell you a couple secret beaches, but I know my dad could probably take you around Tahoe and show you some spots. But yeah, Lake Tahoe is very, very beautiful and very, the scenery is a lot like this. There's waterfalls and creeks, and it's the mountains. And I live very close to Yosemite as well, which I've been to many times and swam under waterfalls there. So, I'm no stranger to beautiful places and places with secret spots.
Yes. So, actually, this movie was actually filmed in Squamish and Maple Ridge, British Columbia. So that's where they filmed. And they filmed in late 2020. So they were freezing.
I bet. Beautiful though. I'm not surprised. British Columbia, from what I've never been, but from what I understand, is gorgeous. So she needs a guide. He starts taking her to some waterfalls. And then he takes her to an art gallery. He decides, hey, what are you doing? Let's go to an art gallery. And she gets to not great photos, but she gets to see Angel Falls. Yeah. And that's when she convinces him, hey, why don't you take me there and we'll get some nice pictures of it. So that's our first elusive waterfall that she gets to see. Yeah. And that one's like an overnight camping trip with just the two of them.
Yeah.
Where still I feel like there was no flirting at all. It's just the two of you. You're camping alone. I don't get it.
Oh my God. I would have been like, you guys are alone. You guys could have at least spent that time, I don't know, kissing or something. Right now, that perfect time.
Yeah, I'm with you on there.
Make some s'mores and kiss, damn it.
And this is about where she reveals as well that being a photojournalist really isn't not what she wants to do. She wants to be a photographer and who has a gallery. Yeah, she wants to have a gallery. You know, there's not a lot of money in that, but that's what she wants. She wants to show the beauty in the photos, not sell out, Yeah. And so he decides to take her to Angel Falls. He makes her take an oath. And he blindfolds her, which is so unnecessary.
He keeps turning her around and stuff.
Turns her around in circles.
Yeah.
The girl who can't follow two directions. I don't think a blindfold, it's just unnecessary. She's not going to find this waterfall again. She's not. You had to take her on a canoe. You had to go on a canoe and to get there and take an overnight trip. There's no way she will ever find this waterfall again.
You can't figure out the difference between right and left, and you think that you needed all that for just
a blindfold. Not necessary.
Anyway, so they went to before they got to Angel Waterfalls, he gave her a compass as a little cutesy gift.
And he reveals around this time that Redwood Falls is real.
Does exist. And
yes,
he talks about how he found it too. He said that he was lost trying to find Angel Falls again when he runs into this twisted rock, and he heard through an anecdote that if you walk 212 degrees from Twisted Rock, you would find Redwood Falls, and that's what he did. And I did my own little math. That's about southwest of Twisted Falls is 212 degrees.
Mm.
If I remember math, if I read compass correctly. But yeah. So anyway,
I'm just shaking as you talk about it. I'm like, sure, sounds great. Yeah, that's how compass works.
I know
degrees.
I think 0 degrees is north. South would be 180 degrees. So 212 is just between south and west. So it would be...
whatever you say, I'm gonna trust.
So anyway, if we're wrong, sorry. I would...
if we're wrong, tell us. We'd love to know.
I know, right? But anyway, so they finally go to the water, to the Angel Falls or whatever, saying, they take the pictures and things like that. Here's the whole thing with the waterfalls, right? They have all these bags and they have the camera with her and stuff like that. Are any of that stuff waterproof? How are they going to... I'm sorry, but okay, so she goes, this is what I'm thinking the whole time I was watching that scene. It's like, okay, she goes closer to the waterfalls with the camera to take the pictures, right? And the next scene, she's in the water, swimming and splashing water with Mark. Where's the camera?
I assume they put it on some rocks somewhere. I mean, that's how we do it around here, is put things on rocks.
The water goes up, waves. I don't know what it is.
I mean, for the most part, I think that stuff is not waterproof, but water maybe resistant to where it's going to dry pretty quickly. Not the camera, but she didn't handle that camera very well in the first place. So as she's like climbing with the camera, I was like, no, do you not have a camera bag? put that thing away. What are you doing? I kept being like, what, you said that thing was over $1,000. Like, my husband has a really nice Nikon, and like, he's very careful with keeping like the lens covered, and that thing was not $1,000. I mean, it was expensive, but it wasn't as expensive as the one she's working with, and she just lets it hang, just like walking around with it, like whatever, and you're like, no, put that in a camera bag. Only take that out right when
you're taking pictures.
Yeah, I was not happy about the way she handled her camera. I was very upset about this.
So, a little bit about the camera. This is where there's some conflict with the story. Is that the camera has geotagging. So this is something that Amy told Kyra from the beginning, and of course, Mark overheard that conversation. So geotagging is where like the GPS coordinates of the picture that you take, it will show up, not sure where or how or whatever. So you will remember where you took the picture, right? And when she went to Angel Waterfall, she thought that she turned off the geotagging. So, but when she sent the pictures to the boss, who was very, very happy about the pictures, because this is the elusive, waterfalls that's only been taken one time by a really bad photographer.
Yeah.
And stuff. She was like, where's the geotagging for this? Well, what's her name? Amy had turned it off and stuff. And her friend was like defending her, like, no, she made a promise not to tell the location. She took an oath, and the boss was like, no, well, I didn't take it oath, and stuff like that. And this is where like journalistic integrity comes in. It's like that was a shitty move.
Not okay. And I think that they probably could have gotten in trouble for some of that. I mean, no contracts were signed, so I mean, it's kind of an iffy area there, but I feel like well, I don't know. But not okay that they went. I guess they went into the coding, because if you don't turn the satellite off, turning off geotagging means it won't show up probably in the information that comes up with the photo. But if you go into the coding behind it, you could probably into properties or something. I don't know.
I feel like Ben did that.
Yeah, I feel like he did it, and
Camilla.
The boss didn't care. Like, she was just like, all right, fine. Like, you did it. That's fine.
Yeah, because I mean, it feels like she, like Amy was saying to her on the phone, she, okays everything. Before it gets finalized, she okays the pictures, she okays everything. And then how can you miss the fact that the coordinates are popped up on there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not cool at all to do. Not cool. Very, very bad thing to do. And I did not like that. And so anyway, but when the pictures were published and when the article came out, a lot of the locals were very mad at Amy, which,
Except, I need to point out, Leo, who we have not talked about yet, who stole the show for me, singing up. He was fantastic. I thought he was hilarious. He became her friend. He was the check-in guy. I actually thought he was a nice little addition. He made me laugh.
Cute.
And he's the only one who defended her. He's like, I've gotten to know her. There's no way she did this on purpose.
Yeah. He was like, there's gotta be a story behind this. It can't be her fault. You know what I mean? And I like Leo was like, but they had an open mic night, right?
Yes, yeah.
The night before the article came out. And he sang a song, Over the Moon by Julian Taylor. And him and Kyra sang it together. It's a duet or whatever. I don't know if that's Christopher Russell's real voice, but if it is Christopher Russell's real voice, he has a really good voice.
Yeah, and he needs to, if that was his real voice, he needs to be featured with that real voice in more movies, because that was good.
But is it just me, or was it weird when he like called Amy out?
Oh, he was staring right at her. Because Tara noticed right away. She was like, "Oh shit, these two like each other."
Not even just that, but like he made a whole speech before she even played.
Oh yes, I noticed that too. And he was just like, "Oh, letting everyone know that, like, that's why they were all mad, because now they know who did it." Because now they're letting everyone know that she's writing an article. And yeah, I thought that was kind of weird too. Like, dude, what are you doing?
I like the song. The song was really good. And
it was pretty.
Yeah, I did. I felt I would have, if I was Amy, I'd have been like, "Can you please stop?"
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of being the center of attention.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about. Like, I like acting, but you're not usually the center of attention. There's a whole cast of characters, and I like to be on stage. But just me, like my wedding, I did not like everyone looking at me. It's like, can we just not? I'm not that kind of person. So I would not have done well with being called out like that. Stand up and take a round of applause. I would have been like, no, you just do your thing. Please just sing.
But yeah, that was just, yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all. I would have I would have been hiding. Like,
right, yeah.
Why bring attention to me? I'm all good. But anyway, so when the article came out, like I said, a lot of the locals got mad because they've been keeping that location secret because they don't want tourists to go to the waterfalls.
Yeah.
At all.
And it's not just that they're like being greedy over it. They know exactly what comes with tourism, trash, and there's and a lot of times no respect for these beautiful places. So completely understandable that they wanted to keep these private and clean and respected.
Here in Hawaii, it's protecting our land, picking up our opala, which is trash, and, taking stuff with you that you bring, like the stuff that you bring with you, take it with you, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't leave behind anything but good energy, and stuff like that. But that's about it. I mean, they were very mad about it. And by the end of the movie, they were having like tour buses that were just for the walk to go see the Angel Waterfall, which, mind you, is weird because I'm like, okay, so does that mean the tour buses are gonna stay there overnight too? Because this is supposed to be an overnight hike,
right? It's an overnight hike that they had to get in a canoe to get to. Like, so they all gonna rent canoes now, or what's gonna go on?
Yeah, but anyway, so Amy, despite getting pissed off at her boss or whatever, she has a new assignment to go to Santa Fe. But before she goes to the airport to Santa Fe, she, runs into Kyra, asks where her dad is. Kyra's like, oh, he went to the waterfalls or whatever. And, he'll be back later. You want to stay around for him to see you? She was like, no, I got to catch a plane. She went to the car, but then she changed her mind and was like, let's go find Mark or whatever.
Well, she sees the compass and is like, yeah.
So, and then again, she gets lost.
It points north to Mark. So she.
But I don't know if she gets lost. On her way to find Mark, I guess. That's where she sees Twisted Rock, which based on what Mark told her in the beginning was the what's that called? The marker for Redwood Falls. So she went to Twisted Rock and took 212 degrees and found Angel Falls, this is the funny part. she got her direction pretty well. If she could fit, she could left and right in the beginning, but figuring out what 212 degrees from that rock was.
Right. Well, apparently she had a compass and she knew how to read that. All she needed this whole time was a compass. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, she finds this elusive waterfall on her own. Yeah, that was luck. That was all that was. pure luck, because she dropped her map right before Twisted Rock. She drops her map, and that's how he knows that she's there.
Yeah, that's how he also knows that she went to Angel Falls, because he sees the Twisted Rock. Now, this is the thing that I want to point out, which I think I probably like. This is the most risque ending for Hallmark movies. And mind you, this is not even risque by any other standards. Okay.
Yeah.
So they go to Angel Falls, and he radios in for a helicopter, to come pick them up. And and the girl was like, "Why do we need a helicopter? Why don't we just stay here?" He's like, "It's overnight." She's like, "Do you have a tent?" And he's like, "Yeah, we have a tent for two." And I'm like, "Oh my God, what are we? Just leave that in the movie?" I know, like, this is nothing, but like,
no, I know what you're saying, because I had a very similar thought. Like, I told my husband, because he was kind of like half walking around, and I was like, oh, we're getting, Hallmark's pretty famous for their just not doing kisses till the very end, and they took this a little bit beyond that.
I know, and I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, so I mean, like, in the middle of nowhere, nobody knows where they're at all. Yeah. They're gonna be spending the night in one small tent together in this romantic setting of a waterfall that nobody has ever heard of before. Yeah.
Yeah. I hopefully there were no bears. By the way, when they were clapping, I was laughing the whole time, because it's true. You should clap, but that's not how you clap. Hi. So he did that very like quiet, just like normal clap that was nothing loud. You're supposed to be like cupped hand, kind of a loud clapping if you're doing that.
I was thinking when they were doing that scene? Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, with the sticks. When she's using the sticks. Yeah. Well, you're supposed to make noise. He just like wasn't making a very loud noise. Like, his claps were really quiet, so quiet that at one point I think I was looking at my phone, and she asked like why he was clapping, and I looked up and I was like, oh, he was clapping, I didn't even hear that. So yeah, it was too quiet. I was laughing about it because I was like, it's not going to do anything. It's like, you need to be loud. I mean, they did correctly when they saw the bear. You're supposed to make yourself look bigger and yell, but the clapping made me giggle a little bit.
But yeah, so that was a pretty risque ending for Hallmark.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it, but totally out of character.
Different. Well, Hallmark's evolving. They're evolving.
I was telling one of my friends yesterday. I was like they did that, and she was like, "Oh my God, they did that!" And I was like, "Yeah," and I know it's not risque by any of the standards, but by Hallmark standards, that's like that went from PG to PG-13.
Yeah, for Hallmark, yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, so anything else you want to add for this episode, for this movie?
We talked about Leo, because I definitely wrote notes about him.
Oh yeah. Leo is definitely like the star of the movie. He stole the movie that way.
I love him.
He's so sweet with Amy. It is so hilarious because, mind you, this was already after she asked Mark about the waterfalls, but Leo was like, the secret to asking about where the waterfalls is don't ask where the waterfalls is.
And what's funny about that is I wrote that in my notes as well. I said, my exact words I wrote here is, so she's supposed to be looking. So she's supposed to be not. Oh, she's supposed to not be looking for a waterfall that she already said she was looking for. Like, yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, she already told him. Like, he knows that she has this motive. Like, she knows. Yeah. But no, I don't have any other notes. I liked it. I thought it was really cute. Not great in the love meant to be true love department, but definitely could be. I could see like a little friendship and maybe the kind of relationship that's just a little fling that you have, but I really didn't.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. How would it, if there was a whole like progression to this relationship, how would that have worked? Is she gonna like open her because she ended up looking for gallery places there. He took her to like some of the empty places, told her about like for sale or for rent places that she could open a gallery for and stuff like that. But also she is a photojournalist, has an assignment in Santa Fe or something,
I kept expecting her to quit when she was on the phone. And they were like, we're going to send the itinerary. And I was like, she's going to say I quit. She never says it. Like, how did that not happen? I was like, say it. Like, I quit. She just kept being quiet. They were like, Amy. And I was like, nope, apparently she's not going to quit.
I was like so disappointed because, like I said, this is just like breaking journalistic integrity, like in every way, shape, or form. That's just so much wrong to it, and stuff like that. And it's like she didn't even stand up for herself.
Yeah, I mean, she yelled at them, but quitting. If this was truly something you felt passionate about, this is not a company you would want to work for anymore.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So, okay. So this is it for this week's podcast review of Chasing Waterfalls. I'm a little disappointed they didn't have any TLC playing at all.
I had the movie paused and my husband walked by and he went, Chasing Waterfalls. He's like, oh, like the TLC song? And I was like, get out of here. Out of here.
I was watching TLC playing in the background, okay? I don't know why I was begging for like, some T-Boss and Lisa Left Eye and Chili playing in the background. Okay, we don't need to hear the full verses, but at least like, go chasing waterfalls. Please the babies. Yeah, but anyway.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We are so close to 200 downloads. That's amazing.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who downloads and subscribes to us.
I know. Thank you so much for all of that. We also have so many things going on this week. It's crazy. Again, we will be interviewing Rhonda Dent, who played Camilla, Amy's boss. This week, we're probably going to talk about her time filming this movie, as well as her photography. She's a photographer as well, like Amy. We're also probably going to ask about the journalistic integrity of what's going on with her camera. Yeah. And things like that.
And we're going to ask her about the scenery.
Yes, I mean, like crazy. So then next week we will continue with our Spring Fling movies. Next week is Don't Go Breaking My Heart, starring Italia Ricci and Ryan Pavey. That's the one where she owns a boot camp, and he's a journalist who like goes undercover and signs up for the boot camp to see if it's like a real thing or not. April 3rd, in the first week of April, it's One Perfect Wedding, starring Taylor Cole, Jack Turner, Rakia Bernard, and Deshaun Williams. This is like, I think, the finale of the one winter weekend that it's the Clara Lake series that's been going. It's a trilogy, so I think this is the
okay.
of it. I think you should watch it. The first two movies before you see it.
Yeah,
I'll
do that.
Wedding and one perfect engagement or something. But yeah, I'm starting those four. So we're gonna be talking to then April 10th is as luck would have it, starring Joanne Swisher and Alan Lee.
I love her. I love Joanne Swisher so much. I adore her, and I'm so excited for this movie because I say this about a lot of them. I adore a lot of these people. But she's another one I adore. Not as much as Ashley Williams. We know that I have an obsession and true love for her, but I do love Joanna a lot.
Yeah. And that one is set in Ireland, so that sounds like fun. And then April 17th is another one of your Pretty Little Liars people. Janelle Parrish.
Oh, yeah, I love her. Yeah.
Right in front of me is her movie.
Oh, that's right.
April 17th is called Right in Front of Me, starring Janelle Parrish and Marco Grazzini. So, where to listen to us is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, TuneIn, and YouTube. We also have a YouTube channel. Buy us a coffee, please. $5 is minimum. You can make it just a one-time buy a coffee, or make it a membership where you buy a coffee monthly. We do have secret podcasts over there that isn't released to the public, and that one is reviewing October Kiss.
And in the future, we may do some get to know us things, videos like that, answering questions. That'll all be available there.
Yeah. And then what else? We also have, please subscribe to us again in all platforms. That is, you can listen to us, whether it be Podbean, Spotify, Apple, Google Play, anything. What else? Instagram page is Hallmark Heartbeats. Facebook page is Hallmark Heartbeats Podcast. Twitter is Hallmark Heartbeat1. And all of those links for all of our websites is on our link tree, which is is in our bio. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Brittany, anything else?
No.
Okay, so see y'all next week when we review Don't Go Breaking My Heart. We might start singing Elvis. No, not Elvis. Elton John and Kiki. So
yeah.
During
I do know all the words, so it could happen.
I only know of the song because of Ella Enchanted. You remember?
Oh, really? Oh, yes. Yeah.
When Anne Hathaway sang that song.
Yeah, yeah. I know it because I'm a huge fan of Elton John. So
but yeah. So next week when we interview Rhonda, and then right after that would be Don't Go Breaking My Heart. So let's see you guys next week. This is Camille.
This is Brittany.
And see y'all. Bye.
Bye.